Good evening, friends, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and it is so great to see all of you coming in from all over the USA and all around the world. So it is a Tuesday night, and we are so glad that you're making time for us this evening. So a few of you have asked why Tom and I decided to change the night, and there's a couple of reasons. First of all, Tom just joined a music co-op. So he's playing with a band on Monday nights down in the Chicago area. It's not something that's open to the public, but it's something that in time might turn into that, right, babe? So he's tied up on Monday nights, and without my engineer, I don't know how to do this anymore because all the controls are way over there and they're much more complicated than they used to be. So Tuesday night worked better for that. And then we thought, okay, well, if we're going to go Tuesday, we might as well skip Wednesday and do Thursday at lunch. This way, we all get over Monday, then we have Tuesday to look forward to, get over hump day, we have Thursday to look forward to, and then on the weekend, I can post my 5-minute card video. So we thought it would work out really well, and this is something we were planning to do sometime this summer because we know that a lot of people were really bummed out in the fall because they like to watch Monday Night Football. So we were thinking about changing anyway to Tuesday and Thursday. So we thought with the spring cleaning and changing things up that we would start doing Tuesday and Thursdays. Now, I know it doesn't work for everyone, but it also might work for some people that it never worked for before. So we hope that everybody is getting an opportunity to see us live sometime. And of course, we're always on replay. All right. Well, with that being said, let's just say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Gina K.
How are you?
I am well. Thank you.
Having a good day?
Having a good day. Yeah.
How was Chicago yesterday?
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
It was stay tuned for more.
Yeah. Good. It's
still catching my breath.
Well, I know you had a lot of fun, and that's important to you. And if it's important to you, it's important. So I'm so glad that you were able to do that. So our people are saying what time on Thursdays. I'm going to actually update our banner in our Facebook group, and I'll also post something on our YouTube community tab. But we're going to be Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central and Thursday at noon for Crafternoon. So all we did is just shift everything over to the right one day on the calendar. All right. So tonight, I look a mess. I got to tell you what I did today. And I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but I feel like I know we did last night with Christopher Allen, and that was so much fun. But you know, when we do our lives, just us, I feel like I could talk to you guys a little bit more, and you guys are my friends too. So today I look a mess because I helped Rena move. We cleaned out her whole apartment, packed everything up. The movers came, moved her into her new place. And I got here just in time to go live, but I did get caught in the rain, so I'm a little frizzy. So bear with me tonight. Oh, thank you so much. My hair gets a little extra curly in the rain. All right, so tonight we are going to play with pattern paper. Now, for those of you who ordered our new kit, you know that there is a brand new pattern paper pack in there. I want to talk a little bit about that, and I'd like to use it tonight. And I want to talk a little bit about our ephemera and what ephemera actually is. You can do this with any pattern papers you have in your collection. Instead of the ephemera pieces that I'm going to use tonight, you can use flowers that you stamp and color and cut out, or stamp in solid colors and cut out. So no need to go out and get any special products for this technique. You can do it with stuff that you've got sitting in your craft room already. But for those of you who got the kit, you'll be able to replicate this card when your kit gets there. And for those who missed out on the kit, there is another another ordering session for this kit coming up. We asked all our manufacturers to rush everything, and we're going to have another ordering probably in another 2 weeks or so. So stay tuned for that. We're going to do a reissue. We never do that, but we had no idea that you guys would love this kit as much as you did. And I dropped the ball. I didn't order enough. So, all right. So let's take a look at what I'm going to be using tonight. So here is the new Watercolor Floral pattern paper. And here is the Watercolor Floral Ephemera. Now, there was a little debate in our group today about what ephemera really is. So what ephemera really is bits and pieces of things that people like to scrapbook as memories. That's how it all started. So do you remember back? I did this when I was a little girl. If I went to a concert and I had a ticket and I just had the torn piece of the ticket, I saved it and I put it in my scrapbook with maybe a picture with my friends, you know, at the concert, or maybe a playbill from a show that you went to, maybe a newspaper clipping, something, anything to do with paper and anything to do with a memory. Even old passports and old stamps, canceled stamps, were used as ephemera. Telegrams from the past. Maybe you have an old telegram that your grandmother received. Those kinds of things are ephemera. Well, the scrapbooking industry kind of took hold of that word. And what we did with it is anything that's cut out, that's pre-done, colored, and that you can put in an art journal, a scrapbook, maybe you can even decoupage with it, stuff like that, is called ephemera now. If you Google scrapbooking ephemera, you'll see all the companies have ephemera now. We're really proud of our ephemera because this is just such a pretty pattern and it matches our watercolor floral book. So let's open it up and take a look at the pieces. So we've got lots of options here, so many, and they're so pretty. They're just, I just love the color palette of all of these. So you can see how pretty they are. Let's get more of them out. So this is the kind of stuff that I like to store in those gum containers that I was talking about before. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll grab one to show you. All right. So these little gum containers, you can get Extra Gum. That's the brand Extra. A lot of the Wrigley's products have this kind of container. Mine smells minty fresh because I get the what do I get, Tom? I get the, like, not the juicy fruit, but it's something like that. But anyway, I get the sugar-free, and I chew a lot of gum. It helps me not eat as much as I want to eat, so I chew a lot of sugar-free gum. And then I save the containers, and these are just the perfect little containers to store all of your ephemera. And this ephemera is eventually going to be available by itself, so you'll be able to buy more packs of this. But we wanted to give it a try to make sure that everybody liked it. So this is a great way to store it. You can put a little label on the side that says Watercolor Floral Ephemera. You can store them all on your shelf, kind of lined up. Some people like to store them on the long way or pile them up. So these are kind of fun, and I have a lot of these containers. So I'll tell you what, each time a new ephemera comes out, get yourself, yes, double mint, that's it. Get yourself some double mint sugar-free gum, chew up the gum over the month, and then that's your new ephemera box. They do work great for storage. You can also store your own die cut pieces that you die cut and color. So you can make your own ephemera that way. All right, so for my card tonight, I wanted to use some of the patterns from this watercolor floral pack. So I really like this one. This is one I'm definitely going to use. I'm going to use this green one as well. They're so pretty together, aren't they? And then let's see, what else can I use? I'm going to use this big, bold one. I think this one might be a fun one to use because they work really nicely together. See those three patterns? And then, you know, I could mix in something like this. Let's mix this one in too. Maybe I won't use this bold one. This way I have more colors in the mix, like that. Okay. So I think I'll use these 3 together. You know, Nicolina, I think I will do more kits with ephemera because everybody is absolutely loving the ephemera. Now, some people in the beginning were like, I'm not sure I understand it. I can just cut and color my own images and I really don't need the ephemera. Well, that's true. And if you're a person that likes to do that, that's awesome. The problem that I have is I cannot color anything that looks like that. I know like some of my design team members like Karen Hightower and Arjita and some of the other wonderful, Lisa Hetrick, some of the wonderful artists that we have can color like that with watercolors. I can't do it. So sometimes I want cards that look like this. And this is a great, quick and easy way for me to be able to do this. So I feel like this one might be a little bold. Maybe we should add a gray in there, like a stripe. That would be really pretty together too. All of these look so nice together. I really like this one too. Check out this one. This just looks like tile. Isn't that pretty? I love that one. So maybe that one would be a good one to mix together with it. They're all so nice. Let's kind of stick with this color scheme a bit. And I'll just put these out and we'll see how it goes. We'll see what looks good. Okay, so I'm going to start with, now you could do this with a paper cutter or you can do this with dies. Now I have the Master Layouts 8 die set and I really love this die because this makes paper strips and they're super skinny paper strips, which is great because even if you have just a tiny little piece of pattern paper left, and I had one around here somewhere, I could still get a strip out of it. So I think I put it back in the box here, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. This was just left over from something that I was working on, and I could still lay my die on there and get a nice even strip out of that. So I don't even have to waste this. Or I could measure this and cut all my other patterns to match on my paper cutter. How long will you be carrying the paper? Well, I plan on carrying it as long as people like it. I mean, at some point we'll have to retire things so that we can make room for new things. But this is such a pretty pattern pack that I don't want to retire it. So if I don't want to retire it, I'm not going to retire it for a while. And are we planning on doing 12 by 12? Well, we haven't really thought much about 12 by 12, but I am thinking that might be something that we do in the future because it seems like a lot of people are liking all of this for their scrapbooking too. Yes, we do still carry all of the Master Layouts dies, if that's the die set you were asking about. We have lots of dies in our collection. This is Master Layouts 4, and I'm sorry, that's not what this one is. This is Master Layouts 8. It's the 5 by 7 Master Layouts. It's got fantastic dies in here for all kinds of things. And this is one of the dies that's in this set. I actually used this set. Did I use this set? I think I did for my card with Christopher Allen yesterday. So if you missed that YouTube video, I made a 5 by 7 card and it was really fun. I would show it to you, but I already mailed it off to the recipient. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay this die on its back like that. Now, when you're cutting pattern paper, our pattern paper is single-sided. And I did that on purpose. I get really frustrated when I have a beautiful pattern paper and the green is on one side and this is on the other side, and I love them both. And double-sided pattern paper costs more to produce, but you're only still able to use one side. So I figured we could go a little bit less expensive on the pattern paper by doing single-sided and just give you several sheets of each. So I'm going to lay this on my die. My die is blade side up, right? So instead of doing it this way, I'm going to just flip it and I'm going to lay my pattern paper upside down onto that. And the reason why I want to cut it this way is because when the die cuts down into the paper, it curves the paper just a little bit. And I want that to be consistent. I don't want it to curve up. I want it to curve down toward the project. So I'm cutting this one out first. you know, there are beautiful papers out there that are double-sided, but it never fails that my two favorite patterns are always on the same piece. And I get so frustrated by that. So I will keep this because that's a nice little strip for another project. Okay. So here I have 5 little strips of this green. And then this piece is the perfect size for an A2 card or a mini slimline. So this 6x6 is really nice when you're doing a technique like this. Okay. I have a little affinity to 6x6 scrapbooks. I think they're the perfect size for me, not for everybody, but for me. Big 12x12 scrapbooks are a little overwhelming to me. So now I got to find my Tim Holtz craft pick. Where did that go? I lost it somewhere. Oh, I better find it. I'm going to have to find it. So let me look around here and see where I put it. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's see if I can find something else to use. I will see if this pen works. I just want to push these strips out of here. Look at these little tiny strips. Now, you see, if you're a crazy crafter like I am, you will keep these because these make those cool little dividing lines when you're doing some stenciling techniques and stuff, and you want to, you know, have a line between where maybe you're stamping a silhouette image and where you want to put your greeting. So I'm going to keep these because I like that. And that's what came out from in between these. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to cut this pattern this time. I really, really like doing this. This is so fun. And there are some times, now you guys know I'm a stamp nut. I love stamps, and I will never not love stamps. You know, that there's no doubt. So you never have to worry about me not wanting to make stamps anymore. I will always want to make stamps. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? But there are times where I am just in the mood to make fast cards. I don't want to go through all the things. And it's also really fun to take a couple of packs of ephemera with you and some pattern paper and make a bunch of quick cards that you can use down the line for holiday gift giving. They make beautiful cards and you can make them in minutes. So when you don't have any mojo, you don't know how to, sometimes I forget how to color. You know, I have those moments where I'm like, I can't even color well tonight. I can always make a beautiful card with ephemera and pattern paper. Okay. So yes, that's a great idea, Karen. She said you could make a trellis with these really thin strips, kind of do a little crisscross down your card. That would be so pretty. So it's like you're getting a twofer here with this die set. All right, I'm going to do the gray too, and we'll see how that looks on the card. We have to try it. Okay. All right. No, this die, Patty, will always be with this die set. When we contract with our die manufacturer, it goes by the sheet, and we try to get as many dies on that sheet as possible to get the price down for you guys. And this is just one of those really big sets, and there was the perfect spot on the sheet for this, so we decided to add this into it. But you can't go wrong with that master layout set. It's got some really neat things in there. And I think I told you guys on Monday night, but if you didn't watch, I mean on Monday afternoon, but if you didn't watch on Monday afternoon and you haven't watched that video yet, my mom always equated the size of the card to the amount that you loved her. So, okay, I'm going to do this one next. So 5x7 cards. There are some people out there that really believe that. And I used to give my mom an A2 card. And no matter how much time I took on it, I could have, you know, colored the whole thing with colored pencils and Gamsol. And, you know, I could have done all of that. And if the card wasn't big enough, she didn't feel like there was enough love in the card. It's kind of cute in a way. Kind of funny too. All right, so let's see what this looks like. So I think this one looks different enough from this one. Like this one looks tiny and this one looks big, but we'll see. If they don't look different enough, we'll do something else. I'll cut one more pattern just in case. So we've got some other colors. So I'll go back to my original thought here of mixing in some of this one. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Some of these you don't even want to cut because they're so pretty. But you got to cut them because you got to use your stuff. It's paper. Got to use it. Got to have some fun. So I'm just getting all these little future trellis pieces out. Thanks for that great idea. I mean, really, that would be very pretty, wouldn't it? Just having those kind of going crisscross down your card. I love that. Could do like little decorative accents and stuff. So fun. All right, so let's get this one. I'm going to cut this one out a little bit more in the middle. I know that, you know, it might be a little wasteful, but it's not like I'm not going to use the other pieces. I just want a little bit more of that color. Yes, it is a personal preference that I do my dies upside down. The reason I do them that way is all dies for me seem to cut better when I do them blade side up like this. Now I do, when I stamp an image, I don't do it this way. But when I cut, you know, little, anything with tiny lines, it seems like upside down and off to the one side of the machine gives you a better cut. Okay. All righty. It's great to see all you guys. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you found us tonight at our new time. Now, I know some of you, this is a crazy week because Tom and I will not be live on Thursday. I actually have 2 5-minute card projects planned for you for the rest of the week. I'm going to post one on Thursday at around noon. And then I'm going to post another one on Saturday. And they're 2 really, really fun cards. So I think you're going to like them. All right. So now I'm going to take a piece of copy paper. And the reason is because I'm going to be putting this pattern paper onto this copy paper. And I'm going to die cut it once I've got it all lined up. And I don't want this to be too thick. So I'm going to cut this, and the die set that I'm going to use, and you can use a die for this. You can use a punch, whatever you have, whatever you like. I'm going to be using Master Layouts 4, and I'm going to be using the hearts. So I'm going to get both hearts out of here. There we go. And then I want to cut this just big enough that it's going to fit my heart. So let's see. That's about 4 inches across. So cut that at 4 inches. And that should be able to be cut. Yep. And then let's see here. I'm going to cut it right about there. So it's kind of like a 4x4. Like that. And I'm going to end up cutting this heart out of this piece of paper. Now, again, the reason why I'm using copy paper instead of white cardstock is, number one, I'm saving my white cardstock because it's beautiful and I don't really want to waste it. And number two, our pattern paper, this is almost like a cover stock. It is not super thin. So I don't want to waste, you know, I don't want it to get too thick. So I'm going to just start laying some pieces down, but I am alternating. Let's zoom in a little bit if we can. I'm alternating a pattern with something that is a little bit more solid or muted. So basically what I'm really doing is I'm going floral and then green and then floral and then gray. So here's another floral. That's the different color one. I'm just going to lay these out and then gray. And then I'm actually using all of these. I'm going back to this like tiny floral because you see a little bit more of the green leaves there. And then green, I'm just kind of laying them out, seeing how they look. So what do you guys think? Do you like this pattern so far? You think that's pretty? I think it's going to be really pretty when we cut a heart out of that. I think it's going to be fun. And again, check your pattern papers, because I bet you've got lots of pattern papers that maybe the pattern itself is too busy, not the right color, something about it you're not thrilled about. But if you cut it into a thin little strip, it'll be just perfect. So here we go. I think I like this. I think I really like it. Okay, so I did the big floral green, and then the watery color floral in gray, then the little floral green, watery color gray, big floral green, this water, they're all watercolor, but I think you guys know what I mean, that has that kind of purpley color in there. Gray, to make sure I have enough of everything. I think I do, because I have so many. I have 20, I think. Gray. And then we're going to go to the mini one. I just like to have them laid out first so I know what I'm doing. And of course, I obviously don't need a whole strip up here, don't need a whole strip there. So I can cut some out and move things around if I want to. Okay, and then we'll go to green again. I like this green because it's not the same color green. It kind of brings to mind the old basic gray when they had a solid color, but it wasn't so solid. So I really love what our artist did here. Okay, let's see. So we're going to go back to this one. In gray. Yes, Tom. Everybody was saying, hey, I don't hear Tom playing music, so that's awesome. So we have the small one, so we'll go back to the big. And then green again. And then after I get these laid down, then I'll just use parts that I cut off to fill in the other areas. Okay, so you can see when I cut this out, probably don't need the whole thing. This will probably almost be enough. But I can angle it any way I want to get the most color out of that. Okay, so let's start with this. Now, of course, you can use Connect glue for this if you want, and that's a great idea, but I think I'm going to use tape just because I think it's going to be a little bit easier for me. So I'm mixing them all up, but I know what I want to do now, so I actually can mix them up. I just wanted to look at it first. So I'm going to start with a little bit of tape down here on this one, and I'm just going to place that right there. Okay, so my next color was green. I want to get a little more tape on here. Lay that right up against it. Now for these two, I can just cut these off. No sense in not using them down at the other end, right? Okay, and of course I'm getting it all over, stuck to the paper. Okay, so we did that, and then we're going to go with this one. So much fun. Let's get a little more of that red in there. I don't know where I'm going to cut yet, but I just want to see more of it. Okay, now we're going to go to gray. Yes, the strips are from our Master Layouts 8, which is our 5x7 master layouts. But now, you know, for some of you, you don't need the die. You can cut these with a paper cutter. You can cut, you know, 1/4-inch strips. That's totally fine to do. If you don't have this, you don't have to wait to be able to make this card. Just use what you have. Okay, we're going to do the skinny one now. Okay. And then we're going to go back to the green again. Alrighty. There we go. I love this whole upholstered look. This is also something that I would really enjoy sewing on with my sewing machine to give it a little stitched edge. Wouldn't that be pretty too? All right, back to the watercolory one. Do one of these. And again, you probably have those patterns in your collection that you are not 100% sold on. If you ever get a chance, if you've got pattern papers that you hate in your collection, and I know that sounds really funny, but at one time you loved them and then you hoarded it, and then by the time you went back and looked at it again, it felt so dated and you thought, oh, I don't even want to use this anymore. Watch my video on how to make paper beads, because some of the ugliest pattern paper makes the absolute most beautiful paper beads. It's really fun. All right, so I'm going to go with a big one again. I know they're here somewhere. There we go. And you can make really pretty jewelry with paper beads. And what I do, a lot of people use Mod Podge to seal them. I actually roll them over Versamark, and then I dip them in clear embossing powder and I emboss them, and then they're all shiny and they click, you know, they feel real solid. So yeah, check out my video on paper beads. You know what? I'm going to link that video on YouTube to this video so that you're able to watch the paper bead video, because if you're looking for stuff to do with your pattern papers, that's another really good, fun video. Okay. I think I'm going in the right order. Alrighty, so we're back to this one. Oh yeah, look at this piece right here. Oh my gosh, look at that. You know, I've been making videos for a really long time, and I know a lot of you are newer to my channel, but I've been making videos for, I don't know, like 15 years maybe, and maybe more than that. So I have videos on my channel that go back. You're going to see a lot of different hairstyles. Oh my goodness. Crazy hairstyles. All right. This is also a very relaxing activity to do. And you know, if it feels good to just kind of cut some of these away to get them out of the way, you can do that. You can save those little pieces if you want. All right. Just felt the need to do that. All right, back to a skinny one, like a little delicate flower. There we go. And then back to green. Yes, my bracelets. You're right. I buy Lauren's Hope bracelets. This is my diabetes bracelet, and I think they're so much prettier than just the old metal kind. I am a type 1 diabetic. I also have a couple other autoimmune diseases because I collect them, apparently. And so they're all on here. Okay, so I need another one of these now. They say they come in threes, right? Can you die cut through the strips if they are glued with liquid glue? Oh, sure you can. Yeah, just make sure your glue is dry. It dries really quickly. Okay, there we go. And now we need a gray. Will this piece work? Nah, we'll do this one. It almost worked. Being a little sloppy with my ends. I could probably get 2 of these cards out of just these strips if I was more strategic. I know some of you who are really good at organizing are just kind of shuddering right now at me. I think this one will work. And then a green one. This might be all I need. I'm going to hold that heart up. No, I might do one more little piece of the... See, I can save all that. I might do one more little piece of this in there, just in case it shows up. Okay. I think that's going to be good. So to make it not stick all over to my die cutting machine, I am going to pull all this up, and I'm just going to trim right around the perimeter here, just to get rid of all that excess. And I'm using my good Brutus Monroe scissors. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but I can clean them. You can clean your scissors with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. The Gina K Designs stamp cleaner is great. It gets gooey stuff off like crazy. And I just didn't want this to be too thick. That's why I went with the copy paper. Because you got, you know, that it's almost like cover stock. It's not like cardstock. It's not, but when you feel this paper, you're going to know it's a good, thicker quality paper. Okay, so now we've got that beautiful pattern. Do you ever use brads with your cards? You know, I still like brads. I might be a little old school, but I do like brads. I mean, brads kind of look like little, you know, enameled dots, right? Okay, so we could do this a couple different ways. We could do it straight like that. That would be pretty. We could also angle it a little bit so it's kind of coming in like that from the side. I kind of like it straight. I just hope I can cut it that straight. I think I can. I think if I tape it down, it'll be fine. Let's do it that way. I think that will be pretty. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to get my die cutting machine now. Let's see. Ooh. You like it angled, Penny? Some of you like it straight, some of you like it angled. Oh my goodness, now I'm confused because some of you like it angled. It is pretty angled too. One thing about it being angled is if it's not straight, it's not meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Should it be like super, like sharp angled where it's still kind of straight? Horizontal is great, angled, either way. Okay, so a lot of you, okay, somebody said their OCD is making them like it straight. People like it both ways. Well, I'll give it a shot on an angle. We'll see how it looks. I know a lot of you just went, oh, Tom, you need a sound effect. You need a sound effect of a disappointed crowd. We could probably use that a lot.
How about?
All right, so the way I'm going to line this up, to try to get it to be kind of even so my lines aren't too crooked, I'm lining up this line so that it's straight with the same position of the pattern paper, if that makes sense. I'm not doing it like that where it's kind of crazy, you know. I'm kind of sticking to lining it up so it is even with that little line of pattern paper. Okay, I'm going to tape it down. Tom, thank you for the help. Okay, so I'm going to tape it down here, and I'm going to tape it down here with some washi tape. Now I'm cutting this one out of the stitched heart because I am still going to outline it using the plain heart in black, because you know I can't make a card unless I do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's hope for the best. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that cute? That's so fun. I love it. And the stitching in there, I don't know if you can see that. I think you probably can. You'll definitely be able to see it in the picture that I share. Now, you know, if I could take this off without ripping the pattern paper, and it's a possibility. Oh, there we go. If I had centered this a little better, wouldn't that have just been the cutest little background to put over white? So you can be a little bit more strategic when you try this, and maybe you'd be able to save the rest of the heart and make a cute little square card where you could stamp some things inside there, add your ephemera and your greeting on the inside. Boy, I wish I would have thought of that. I would have shifted it over a little bit, but maybe next time. Okay, so now I'm going to get a piece of black cardstock. And you know, I found a nice color palette here I wanted to share with you. This is the color palette that I think looks great with these pattern papers. So I've got black, I've got stormy sky, white, innocent pink, and grass green. I really like this whole look with this and with the grays. I think that looks really pretty together. So if you're looking for cardstock colors that coordinate, I think innocent pink. Now, you might look at that and go, maybe bubblegum a little more. So watch what happens. You could put innocent pink with that, right? But watch what happens with bubblegum, just so you guys know. There's actually enough bubblegum in here, I think, that it would work. Maybe not. That might be a little bit too bright. But parts of it are a much more bluer pink. I think it would look great with Dusty Rose, too. Look at it with Dusty Rose. Isn't that pretty with Dusty Rose? Ooh. I could even up the sides of the heart. You're right. I'm not going to throw it out. I'm going to hold on to it because I don't know what I can do with it, but I might play with it a little bit later. Okay. So now let me get my paper cutter. And I'm going to cut a little piece of black cardstock here. I'm going to cut a 1/4 sheet of black. Okay. Yes, a burgundy would be gorgeous, Heidi. That's true. Yep. I'm going to look at that to see if the center is similar to Plum Punch. So let's take a look at that. It's a great question. Here's Plum Punch. I think it would do it. Look at that. Good call. Yeah, Plum Punch is awesome.
If you request to zoom out a little bit.
Oh, zoom out? Okay. Somebody must have a big screen. Okay, there we go. All right, is that better? Okay, so now I'm going to cut this heart. This is the single heart that coordinates with the stitched heart. I'm going to cut this. I'm out. I'm zoomed out. I'm going to cut this using the plain one. Is that better? Okay, sorry. I know I was so close. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on my phone, so everything's really small, and I forget some of you guys have this on your big screen. And that always reminds me to stop at Walgreens and pick up more of my skincare. Okay, so you can see that's so pretty together, isn't it? Gives you that nice little shadow layer that I love. Love that. Okay. So I think I'm going to cut out the word love, and I'm going to use, this is a Little Love layering stencil bundle, and I love the words in this stamp set. So I think I'm going to make a card that says love and birthday wishes. And I'm going to use the love and shadow die for this. So let's get that cut. So I still have this piece of black cardstock. Will it fit? Yes, it will. And I'm actually going to cut it face down. That's the wrong one. No, I don't have to cut it face down. I thought maybe there wouldn't be enough room and I'd have to really see it, but I think I'm going to be okay. I like to cut these blade side up too, just because this is a really delicate die. And if I don't find my craft pick, Tom, I'm in big trouble because I don't know how I'm going to get this die cut out of here without it. So let me look around and see if I threw it somewhere in the heat of the moment. I found it. Okay, here we go. Boy, last minute. All right, so I'm going to pull this out. And we're going to talk about the shadow die. Oh, you misplaced one of the stencils? Well, you can contact customer service because sometimes when we order our stencils, we get an extra one of them. And if we have them, I'm sure that they've got pricing and all of that for replacements and things like that. So you could contact customer service and see what they say. But don't yell at them if they don't have it. Okay. But they might. Sometimes, every once in a while, the stencil company counts wrong. And that's a win for somebody who threw one away or misplaced one. You know, as soon as you call, though, you're going to find it. So maybe you should call just for that purpose, because that's how life works. So I'm going to just look at this to see if I really need the white. Yes, I absolutely do. See how that just disappears. So we do want to cut the shadow layer in white. We could cut it in vellum too. Do I have vellum? I don't have any vellum. Where's my vellum? Oh, I do. Here's one. I'll cut one in vellum and we'll see how it looks, and then I'll cut one in white and we'll see how it looks, and we'll see which one you guys like better. So I'm going to cut one in vellum. Hey, Kathy Z. Welcome. You found me. I'm at a new time. Okay, so here's a vellum one. And vellum's nice because it doesn't take away too much from what's behind it, but it does help the word to pop a little bit more. Can you see that? I think that looks good. But I am going to cut a white one too, because I still think the white might work a little bit better. And especially because I don't think I'm going to put it up here. I think I'm going to like stagger it a little bit, like down here. So I'm cutting a white one anyway. I have a little scrap here. I know this card is taking a long time, but you know, sometimes I don't plan my cards. And if you're new to my channel, many other of my YouTuber friends are good planners. They like to plan things out. They like to know what they're doing. Me, on the other hand, I go, I think I'm going to use pattern paper tonight. And for the most part, that's my plan. All right, I love how like vibrant it gets when you just pop it on that white. So we'll see. I've got all the pieces cut. And then, all right, I think we don't need this anymore. Now, let's do something fun for a background, shall we? We don't want to take away from the heart, and we don't want to take away from exactly what's happening with this card, but I want to give it a little bit of texture. So I could use an embossing folder, or I could use my Score Buddy, which is what I'm going to use, because I think this would be pretty kind of, you guys got me thinking of a trellis. And so now I'm thinking I want to do a trellis look. Well, you know what? I'm going to cut this bigger. I'm going to cut this at, let's see. It's a big heart. So let me just see something here. Would it work this way? Oh, it would. Okay. So it would work this way. So I'm going to cut this a little bigger. I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4 by 5. And I think we could lay this card out horizontally like this. And then we could add our love off to the side here with the greeting. And then we can add our ephemera to this card. Okay. So let's see. We'll do our background first and see how it goes. So the good thing about this background that I'm going to do, and I've done it before, I know a lot of you have seen this before, it doesn't matter what size your card is. You don't have to have like an even number. You could do this on any scrap of paper you have. Just pick a point at the bottom of your cardstock, or at the bottom of your Score Buddy. Pick one row. So, let's pick this right here. Okay, so the top corner goes there. There, the bottom corner, what did I do? The top corner goes there, the bottom corner goes here, okay? Once you get the first line, then it's easy. So you're going to line up one corner at, say, 3.5, and one corner at the bottom at 3.5. And then you're going to score, put a nice score line in there. And then I'm going to go 1/2 inch marks. So I'm at the 3.5 inch mark. I'm going to go to the 4 inch mark. I'm going to go to the 4.5 inch mark. I'm going to go to the 5 inch mark, 5.5, and 6. Okay. Now I'm going to flip that whole thing so that all those lines I just made are now on this side, and I'm going to go to that same 3.5 inch mark. And I'm going to go 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6. Now I'm going to turn it so that the lines are going this way, and I'm going to create new lines going in the other direction. So I'm putting that right at that 3.5 inch mark. If you have to like go up to the 3.5 inch mark and put your score tool down there so that you know where to line it up. There you go, which line you're on. Okay. Then we're going to score these going in the opposite direction at every 1/2 inch. And this is really pretty. It's like an embossing folder without needing an embossing folder to do this. And it gives you that trellis look. Now I'm going to go back on the other side. It's easy to see now because I can find where my last line was. And go 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6. So can you guys see those lines? Can they see that, Tom? I know it's very bright.
Yes.
Okay. And you could choose either side that you want. So let's pick this side right here. This is the indented side. Instead of where the lines come out, we'll go with the indented side. And we can actually make this look like wood grain in between there if we want. So let's do that just for fun. All right. So I'm going to get some soft stone ink. I really love soft stone for a wood grain when I'm using these kinds of colors, especially with that gray in there. And we could do it in either direction, but we can have our boards going across this way. Okay. So now watch how these lines pop out when you wood grain on top. Okay. Watch. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Gives it such a nice texture. It's nice and rugged, but it's still beautiful and very perfect for florals. I like to always ink up a little bit at the top, you know, so that it's even and it looks a little bit more distressed. But isn't that pretty? I love that look. I'm going to add a little bit more just to get it a hair darker. Okay. All right, so there is my little background there. And I can even pop my heart up on that if I wanted to. We'll see, because I'm going to add flowers too. All right, so now I need a black piece of cardstock, and I need that to be just a little bit bigger. So that was a 5-inch piece, so I'm going to 5 1/8. If you don't like cutting these layers, you can use Master Layouts 1 for this, and it will cut these layers for you. This is 3 7/8. Okay. And then I'm going to layer those two pieces together like that. Okay. So I'm zoomed in enough, right? I know that you guys asked me to zoom out. I want to make sure that you guys can see okay. I think we're good. Now finding the right color for the background. What are we going to use for this? Let's get these two panels together too. This is copy paper, so it's a little, you know, it's not real sturdy and strong. But you certainly could use Connect glue for this if you wanted. I feel like pink. I think innocent pink would just be beautiful because we have a lot of gray going on. So I do like the gray background, but could have done that a little better. That's what I love about the dot runner, though, is it's so forgiving. You can rip it up a couple of times before you totally commit. Okay, I can't tape tonight. Oh, my word. Okay, take a deep breath. It happens to the best of us. There we go. See, I'm looking too much at the lines and not enough at what's happening around the heart. Okay, that's better. Okay. And we could go this way, but I think it's better this way. All right. So what do you think? Should we go with that that innocent pink back there? That would be really pretty. And bring all the pink with the flowers. The flowers are really going to make the whole thing pop. Let's go with innocent pink. I have a big heart. Thank you. I know what you meant. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to score this at the 4 1/4 inch mark. We've got a horizontal card going. Horizontal tent fold. It's been a debate on what to call these different orientations as of late. All right, we'll pop this on there. Yeah, I think this is a nice combination. And I saw some people say go with a darker pink, and I think it would look great. I think you're right too. But I think I want to stick with the lighter pink for this, just because I think the flowers are going to really pop with this whole thing. Let me get a different piece of cardstock here just so that I don't have ink all over it. I don't want to get it on the back of the card. Okay. So now let's lay out this card and see what we want it to do. I really love this flower here. Let's get some ephemera out. Let's see what we have. I think they're all the same. They're pretty close. Like you might have one different flower in there. That's pretty. I love to have like things trellising down. So pretty. Sherry, if you're frozen, I don't know if you can still hear me, but if you're frozen, you could go out and come back in. I think it's okay on our end. I'm not 100% sure. This is pretty too. I love this one. Let's get some flowers in there. This is such a sweet card. It feels so like heartfelt. No pun intended. I like this one too. I really like this little piece. But I don't want to go too busy. And plus, I really like this ephemera and I want to be able to use it for more things, so I don't have to use too much of it. We could maybe add one little thing of leafery over here and then bring that down. I think that kind of is enough. Yes, I agree. It looks good right now. Just stop, right? Just stop. Okay, so now I don't know if I like this, if this is too much. It might be, it might not be. Do the love right there. Oh, that is pretty. That is kind of pretty. And then we could do sending lots of right there. Sending lots of love. Let's do that. Okay, so now we have this where we want it, and now I gotta, my trick, right guys? This is my trick. So my trick is I open my camera and I take a quick picture of my card, and then I can go back and refer. Where is that? I lost the picture. I can go back and refer to that picture over and over again. My Dexcom went off. And this way I could destroy what I just did if I want, and I can go back and refer to it again. So I think I'll do that. I'm going to pop this one right onto the card. I'm not going to pop it up. It's going to go right in the center. This was such a fun card. Oh, I hope you guys will try making something like this. And again, if you don't have your kit yet, don't worry. I mean, you can still create a beautiful card with flowers that you cut and color. I'm going to lay these back. I do like things that kind of go off whatever's grounding it. And I feel like the heart is grounding it here. That's pretty, just like that. But something about this just trellising down. Yes, I don't know if trellising. Now, if you have a piece like this and it's too big, you can always modify it just by, cutting it like that. And then you don't have to have quite as much of it under there, so it doesn't have to get tucked up quite as high. And then you can always use these for something else. I mean, just cut down and have those two little leaves, poking out somewhere else on another card. So save all your little pieces. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tape down all of the leafery first. I learned that word from Lisa Hetrick. She uses the word leafery a lot, and I like when she says it. So now I want to be Lisa Hetrick. So, okay. So let's get these down first, and I'm going to tape the backs of these, and then I'm going to overlap them just a little bit, like that. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to tuck them in here like that. Okay. Then this one, I'm going to take a little bit of it, not the whole thing because it's hanging off, so that's fine. And then this one I'll tuck in there as well. It's already after 8. You would think this card would have gone faster, but that's because I talked so much and I was so indecisive. And then this one I'll tape down as well. Get that one poking up there. And then this is definitely Pop Dot, foam square worthy. So I'm going to put a foam square on that and pop it up. And then I'm almost done. I've been a little long-winded in my lives lately, Tom. Is that a shocker?
What made you conclude that?
Well, because I used to be able to get it done in an hour, and I can't anymore. All right, I'm going to layer these together. We will look at the vellum. I know some of you wanted to see the vellum. The vellum is pretty, but I feel like it gets lost along that black border of the heart. So I'm going with white.
If you request for a word of the day, what do you think?
Oh, yeah. What is the word of the day, Tom? Do you have a word?
Okay, word of the day. So
I'm using glue to put this down, just so you guys know.
So there's a new streaming video service, and they only stream videos for educational purposes for ear, nose, and throat doctors. And it's very much like YouTube, and it's called Eustachian Tube.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you have a ba-dump bump sound, but we really need one. We need a drum to go ba-dump bump.
I just had some booze. That's all I have.
Really? That's all you have? I think you need some booze.
And I could use some booze too.
All right, so I got love on there, like that. I'll get that down there. And then I'm just going to stamp my little, my greeting. This card just has to be right. I could do shortcuts, but I don't want to. I want this card to be right because I absolutely love it. I'm going to tuck it right there. Oh, I love that. That is so pretty. Maybe I'll move it over a little before I really press. It can go over the edge a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to do sending right across, sending lots of. So because it's, I haven't wasted enough time, I'm going to waste a little more. Oh, did I throw a piece of that away? Could I get it out of here? I might be able to. Sending lots of. All right, I'm going to try it. We'll see how good I am. Using a little bit of embossing magic and the Gina K Designs white pigment ink. I've learned that using white pigment ink helps me stamp these greetings that I'm going to emboss in white a little bit better. So this should only take a minute or 12. I did not have any plans of embossing, so I had to find all my embossing stuff here. Tom, I liked your U-Station tube. I thought it was great. Ooh, okay, sending lots of love. I have not used this stamp before, so I'm just going to prep it a little bit with my finger. Okay. And then I'm going with white pigment ink. And then this is just a strip that I cut off of something. And I need to get my head in the way here. Now, I just want to hold it there for a minute and give the ink a chance to transfer. Okay. And now I put a little embossing powder on there, some white embossing powder. And I need a tiny brush because there's a tiny little speck there, a couple little specks. And, you know, you could take them off now, take the time, or you could scrub them off later with some sort of mono sand eraser, but it's a lot easier to do it this way. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's better than horrible. So we're going with it. We just heat this up. And then this card will be done, and sending lots of is going to be right there. I had to do it. I couldn't just stamp it on white with black ink. I had to do it this way. All right. Here we go. And I've got a little thing right there. I'm going to push out. There we go. Okay. And now I'm going to cut it with my paper cutter. Make sure it's cool. I think it is. There we go. That looks pretty good. Boy, I did that with my paper cutter. Now I feel like I gotta trim a little off there. And I am gonna use some, am I gonna? No, I'll tape it right on there. And I think that's gonna be good enough. I will zoom in on this. Okay. There we go. So there's my finished card.
Ooh.
I like it. I like it. It was fun. I might have popped that up in another life, in a better day. But, you know, it is a little after 8 now, and you guys have been hanging in there with me long enough. But what do you think? Do you like that? Isn't that a fun way to use up pattern paper too? You could, and if you don't have Mojo, just find those pattern papers, cut the strips, put them all over that copy paper, and just cut out lots of hearts, different colors, different patterns, different combinations, and put them away. And then when you need that fast card, you grab some ephemera or some bits and pieces that you created, and you can put together a really fast card like this. This feels very vintage, doesn't it, Tom? Almost a little Victorian.
Yes, it does.
I like that. Okay, so we are going to pick a winner who is going to get this card. And by the way, guys, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I know that you there's lots of wonderful people that go live all the time, and you guys have busy lives, and we really, really appreciate you being with us. We really do. All right, Tommy, what's the winner? Who's the winner?
All right.
Okay.
Here comes the winner. The winner is
Sandra, congratulations. Send your name and address to email to info@ginakdesigns.com. And I will get this right out to you. All right, everybody. Well, remember, on Thursday, I'll be posting a 5-minute card video, and then I'll have another one for you over the weekend. I'm hoping to get that up on Saturday. And then starting next week, we'll be on our new schedule, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, and Thursday at noon Central Time for our Crafternoon. Thanks so much for being flexible with us. There are lots of other choices out there, and we really hope that you'll come and find us and spend some time with us each week. All right, everyone, we're going to take off. We'll see you again by video on Thursday. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.